because I had an idea, and Hyamachus helped me to realize that idea. So we know that units that are standing still will get the ability to reflect damage back onto an attacking unit that charges. So a unit like Naked Warriors is going to take something like 20 casualties on the charge against a unit with expert charge defense. So I thought, how about we try a unit that has an even higher charge bonus than the Naked Warriors, and we increase its charge bonus further. So Frenzy and Ariovistuses Fast Charge is going to allow us to do that for the Berserkers. The charge bonus of Berserkers is going to get absolutely ridiculous when we stack those abilities. So Ariovistus and Frenzy are going to get stacked. I'm not going to use Headhunt in this instance because it's only the charge bonus that I'm interested in. So here we go, charging in with the Berserkers. And what we're interested in now is what happens at the point of contact. So how many casualties will the Berserkers sustain now that they have a charge bonus of 91? With their 10 armor, that should be enough to eviscerate the Berserkers when they charge. And this is in slow motion, keep that in mind. So if I go back to normal speed, you'll see how quickly the Berserkers drop. The Illyrian Noble Hoplites drop quickly as well. That was in Phalanx, so outside of Phalanx, the Berserkers lose a lot of men on the charge. So do the Illyrian Noble Hoplites. Another charge against the Illyrian Noble Hoplites. These guys are 5 ranks deep. And again, the Berserkers start losing men quickly on the charge. Here the Berserkers charge in without having any sort of charge bonuses, activating Frenzy late, I believe. Yeah, activating Frenzy too late. So, as you can see, the Berserkers are losing men, but not losing men as quickly as in the other instances. So we'll just fast forward and see which Berserker units come out on top here. So the Berserker unit that the Berserkers that are up against Noble Hoplites that aren't in Phalanx, they're actually dying quickly. In Phalanx, the Illyrian Noble Hoplites die to the Berserkers. And these are the Berserkers that get the full charge bonus. So these units got the full charge bonus, but this unit of Berserkers didn't use Frenzy and Ariovistus. So it killed the Noble Hoplites faster, and it also has more men remaining in the unit. This over here, unit of Berserkers just straight up lost against a Phalanx that was 3 ranks deep, I believe it was. Over here as well, it looks like the Berserkers, the Berserkers are going to lose. So when you're using expert charge defense against Ariovistus and against Berserkers, it's going to be fairly important that the Berserkers aren't able to wrap around the formation, and it's still going to be a bad time for the Illyrian Noble Hoplites to get charged by Berserkers. It's just that it's slightly better for them to be charged when the Berserkers are using Ariovistus and Frenzy than when the Berserkers are not using Ariovistus or Frenzy, because the damage done on the charge immediately is going to reflect back to the Berserkers, and that means that less Berserkers are left alive to do the extended killing that they're able to do. So this makes for a potentially interesting strategy to use against Swebi. For example, let's say you have a front line of charge absorbing Illyrian Hoplites, not the nobles, but the Illyrian Hoplites. Then you're going to be absorbing the charge of the high charge bonus, low armor Swebi units. You're going to reflect Ariovistus back on them, And then when the charge bonus wears off, you're going to be sending in your second and third line infantry to hopefully be able to deal with this webby army more effectively. So I think expert charge defense is not a great ability, but I think it has a niche in defending against Ariovistus and in being a surprising use. Most people will expect you to start withdrawing when Ariovistus hits, but if you just stand your ground, you should be able to, with a line of hoplites, or with expert charge defense, you should be able to reflect back a lot of the damage, and then when you pile in your second line infantry, you might be able to do a lot of damage. So I haven't tested this yet against Ariovistus, because I don't come up against Ariovistus very often, and it kind of won't work if the opponent knows what you're doing, maybe. But anyway, I thought this was fairly interesting. So it does indeed look like the higher the charge bonus, the more damage gets reflected back, so that makes sense, of course. And the berserkers that didn't use any abilities did better against the Illyrian Noble Hoplites than the berserkers who got 107 charge bonus, because the Illyrian Noble Hoplites have more armor, of course, than the berserkers, so the more damage that gets reflected back to the berserkers, the worse it is. Strength and honor.